Hello, geometry students. We're continuing in chapter 12 and we're moving on to volume of pyramids and cones. Yesterday you did volume of prisms and cylinders. And so when you're looking at the volume of pyramids and cones, it's very similar to your prism. You're going to take your base area times your height, and then you're going to multiply it by 1/3 is what you're going to do, because it's not going to maintain that shape all the way throughout. It's going to come to a point. So when you're talking about the volume of cones and pyramids, you're going to take the volume is 1/3 the base area times the height. That's 1/3, not 1/2. And so let's take a look at problem number 1. It says find the volume of the following. So it comes to a point. So my formula is going to be volume equals 1/3 the area of the base times the height. So when I look at my pyramid here, I have a triangular pyramid. That's what my base looks like. Now if I pull it out, this is 6. This is where your right angle is. So 10 is your hypotenuse. And so this is the other side. So to find the area of my base, my triangle is my base. I'm going to have to do base times height divided by 2. So for my volume, I'm going to take 1/3. I have a triangular base is what I have. And then I'm going to multiply it times the height. So I'm going to need to find the side right here. I'm going to have to use Pythagorean theorem. 6 squared plus x squared is 10 squared. Some of you are saying right away that's going to be 8, and you're right about that because it's my favorite triangle, 3, 4, 5. So 6 is 3 times 2, and 10 is 5 times 2. So x is going to be 4 times 2. So the x is 8. If you want to do 10 squared minus 6 squared and hit the square root button, you're going to discover you're going to get 8. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and go my volume equals 1/3. Okay, I need to find a triangle area. So I'm going to take my base of my triangle, which is 6, times the height of my triangle, which is 8, and then I'm going to divide it by 2. Then I need to multiply times the height of the pyramid, which is 15. So now my volume equals, you can go ahead and cancel here, 3 and 6, that's 2. 8 and 2 is 4. And so when you multiply that out, you're going to get 120. You're talking about volume, so you're going to have cubic feet. Let's take a look at problem number 2. Looks like I have a hexagonal pyramid. So I have a pyramid, so I'm going to use my same formula. Volume equals 1/3 my base area times the height of the prism, and I can see the height of the prism is 18. So my volume equals 1/3. I need to find the hexagon area, and then I need to times it by its height. And so when I think about the hexagon's area, I use my apothem times my perimeter divided by 2. Some of you might go and draw a triangle in that hexagon and then multiply it by 6 once you find the area. So when I think about this, I'm going to need my apothem, which is right here. So I'm going to pull that triangle out. 6 is the whole side. So I'm going to write 3 on each side here. I should know by now that that central angle is going to be 60 degrees. I take 360 divided by 6 and I get 60 degrees. So I'm going to write 30 on each side here. This is my 30, 60, 90 triangle. So this is 60. This is my long leg. So it's going to be 3 root 3. So now I'm going to do my volume equals 1/3. I'm going to go and use my hexagonal area. I'm going to take my apothem, which is 3 root 3. I'm going to multiply it by the perimeter 6 times 6, which is 36. I'm going to divide that by 2. And then now I need the height of my pyramid, which is 18. And so once again, I can simplify here. This 3 will cancel with that 3. This 2 will cancel with this 18, making that a 9. And okay, so I'm back. Go ahead and multiply. I didn't have that multiplied out. My 36 and my 9 are multiplying together. So my volume equals 36 times 9, 324 root 3 feet cubed. Now, they do take decimals in the book, so you could go ahead and multiply that all out, 324 times root 3, and you get 561 and 2/10 feet cubed. Okay, let's move on to the next couple of problems. In number 3, again, I have a pyramid. It's turned upside down. I have a square pyramid. So I'm going to go volume equals, oh no, just wait a minute here now. This is 6 and this is 8. So this is a rectangular pyramid here. So I've got 1/3. To find my volume, I'm going to find my base area and then multiply it times the height. So this time, volume equals 1/3. I need to find the rectangle's area and then times it by the height. Well, my rectangle is 6 by 8, so volume is 1/3, 6 times 8, and then I'm going to need the height. My height is right here. And they give me this triangle, so I'm going to have to do Pythagorean theorem because I don't have a number here. I'm going to pull that triangle out. You can see my hypotenuse, which is my slanted height, which is 5. This side here is going to be 3. It's half of the whole side there, going from the edge to the center, so that's 3. I'm looking for the height, and I think a lot of you are already saying, oh, that's Mrs. Hefty's favorite, 3, 4, 5. That's going to be a 4. So now my height is going to be 4. So again, I can cancel. That's going to get me 2. So I've got 2 times 8, 16 times 4. My volume is 64 then yards cubed. Let's take a look at example number 4. In this example, I have a cone. It comes to a point, so I'm going to use volume equals 1/3 the area of my base times the height. This time, when I'm dealing with a cone, I have a circle. So volume equals, to find the area of my base is a circle, and then I'm going to times it by the height of my cone. So if you're going to do the area of your circle, you're going to need to do pi r squared. So volume equals 1/3. The area of the circle is pi. The diameter is 20, so my radius is going to be 10 squared. And then I'm going to need to find the height of this. Do you see right here? There's my height. So I'm going to pull out my triangle. This is 18, that angle's 45, This angle's 45, and then I'm looking for the height. Now, this is not 10. That's not going to the center, people. That's not the radius, so that is not 10. So you're going to have to use your 45, 45, 90 relationships to figure out what your height is. And so some people use the formula hypotenuse equals root 2 times the leg. 18 is your hypotenuse, root 2 times the leg. So you're going to have 18 over root 2 is your leg. I'm going to multiply by root 2. So now I'm going to get 18 root 2. I'm sorry, I'm kind of running right into my formula. It's going to be my leg. So I get 9 root 2 is my leg, or the height. So I'm going to write that in this spot then. 9 root 2 is the height of my cone. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take 1/3 and 9. I'm going to cancel. That gives me 3. I've got my 100 times 3, so that gets me 300. 300, then I got pi, and then I've got root 2. So if they ask me for an exact answer, this is what I would write down. I probably should write my radical, 300 root 2 pi. In your book, they say that you can write a decimal down, so you can go ahead and type that into your calculator, punch that in. You get 1,332.9 yards cubed. All right, so we've just covered our volume of our pyramids and cones. We have one section left, and that will be a volume and surface area of spheres. So you students have an awesome night, and I'll see you in class tomorrow.